Hi, my name is Peter Jones. I'm an audio-video lighting engineer out of Connecticut and the Northeast of the United States of America. I firstly wanted to express my gratitude for everyone's interest in the plugins that I've started developing. I'm fairly new to LUA programming, probably within the last year, and I'll be honest with you, this plugin that I've created is based on my own laziness, as I'm on my 5th or 6th reiteration of rebuilding my busking file. And I wanted to make things a little bit easier for me by also making things far more complicated by creating a plugin instead of a macro and whatever it may be. So I am incredibly proud to present to you this 3-part plugin that I will be presenting to you today. However, I need to disclaim that it is originally designed around my style of programming. However, I'm very, very much looking forward to your feedback on ways I can make it more universal and allow it universal and be able to distribute it without having any weird issues between programming styles and troubleshooting issues after deploying this position preset generator. So as I mentioned, this is a 3-part plugin. It starts off with a group generator, which really doesn't matter to the positions, but I've got a group generator as a part of this plugin. The second part of the plugin I will call as a position preset palette generator. It is not meant to be a one-all be-all for pro. As I mentioned, this is a 3-part plugin. The first part really doesn't have anything to do with positions or presets, but is a group generator. Just makes it very easy to create groups based on my fixture selection. The second part of the plugin is the position palette creator, I'll call it. The reason why I call it a palette creator is depending on how many fixtures you selected, some of the positions might not come out as clean or creative as the others. So that's where the third part comes in as a position preset merge and compiler, where you can run this position generator on multiple different fixture types, groups, and pull it back in to a single set of, I've currently got it configured to 40 position presets. So the group generator, I'll just quickly describe each of these elements. The group generator creates 10 group presets. You firstly select your fixture order. It then creates an all based on your house right or house left to house right positions, creates a symmetrical group, a house left and a house right group, an odd off center and an even off center, and then your 1 of 4, 2 of 4, 3 of 4, and 4 of 4 all off of your center of your group. The position palette generator creates 114 position presets. Now, this is a very crucial part, and we'll go through a full demonstration just in a little bit. But these are all based from an effects generator. You may have seen Christian Jackson and some other MA programmers show how to create positions based off of your output of your console, and that's exactly what this does. It just utilizes a basic position effect generator to create linear and aerial looks for you. Again, depending on how many fixtures you've got selected in this group, your positions could look really cool, all of them could look really cool, or you might only have a few that look really cool. And then lastly, we have our position merge. Now, this merges and allows you to select which positions you like, and it automatically merges it into a single set of 40 position presets, making things a little bit easier. So let's dig right in, and we'll go straight into the group generator. We'll go into the position palette generator, and then we'll go into the position compiler, the position merger. Let's start with part 1 of the 3-part plugin. So part 1 is the group generator. Quickly, we'll discuss what my rig is. I've currently got, for this demonstration, 22 Chauvet Maverick Force 2 spots. You might recognize this from the teaser video that I posted. We've got 6 downstage separated in the center, 8 mid-stage separated in the center, and 8 far upstage not separated in the center, evenly spaced. Now, for the sake of this demonstration and the way this plugin is currently designed, again, I love your feedback and your critiques just so I can make the distribution of this plugin a little bit more seamless. But I'm a little bit of a numbers nut. I know some LDs like to keep their groups pretty close together in their plugin pool, or their group pool rather. I'm a little bit more numbers happy. So I have in this demonstration, the downstage row is fixtures 111 through 116. The first one allocating the fixture type, the second digit allocating what row it's in, and the third digit allocating, okay, which fixture number is this actually? We've got 6 fixtures. On the first row, it's fixture type 1, my spots. Row 2 is 121 through 128, and row 3 is 131 through 138. So for this demonstration, we're going to do 4 groups. We're going to do group 111, 121, 131, and then group 101 for all of the spots. For the LDs that do it that way, thank you for being a number nut like me. For the LDs who aren't, again, this is just for this demonstration. Let's start with the plugin. So the group generator will not run if you don't have any fixtures selected. Fantastic. So what we need to do is put some fixtures in our programmer. I'm going to go over to my layout view here, and we'll start with the downstage truss. We'll select, if you guys lasso left to right, or individually select or type in our fixture numbers, however you like to do it. I'm just going to lasso for this demonstration. Fixtures are ordered correctly, and let's go ahead and run this group generator. When we run this group generator, the first thing it's going to ask us is, where are we going to start this group? Again, like I said, we're going to start this at 111. And then it's going to ask us to prompt a name. We'll call this downstage spots. Now our groups are done, and we have a world stored. You can see world 111, which matches group 111, has now been stored. And if we look in our groups pool, we can see symmetrical downstage spots, all downstage spots, which is not symmetrical, a left, right. Let's see what they look like. Symmetrical. All, left, right, odd from center, even from center, and we have 1 of 4, 2 of 4, and 3 of 4, but because we only have 6 fixtures here, the 4 of 4 is grayed out. Let's do it again for the next row. Run the group generator. We'll start this at group 121. Please. Group name, we're going to call this mid spots. And if we go to our group pool, we can now see symmetrical mid spots, all mid spots, left mid, and the same exact groupings, but now we have a 4 of 4. We'll just double check that it looks nice. The symmetrical selection's good. All's good. Left, right, odd, even, 1 of 4, 2 of 4, 3 of 4, 4 of 4. Do it again for the upstage row. Group start, 131. Group name, upstage spots. And now we've got ourselves 3 worlds created. We have ourselves 30 groups created already. And it looks beautiful. Cool. Now, for those that don't know, and as I mentioned at the start of this video, I am an audio, video, and lighting engineer. I got my degree in audio. I'm still picking up lighting tricks as we're going along. One thing that I saw Ludacris's LD do that I really liked is this grouping, which keeps it symmetrical. We're going to use his process to create an all group. The process is we started with our downstage truss. We're going to select just the house left side of the fixtures from house left to house right. Then on the mid stage truss, we're going to go from the center stage to house left. the entirety of the upstage from house left to house right to center on the mid stage, and center stage to house right on the downstage, which will then leave us with this semi-symmetrical looking fixture selection. I never knew this trick existed, and it's a really nice trick to know. We're then going to go ahead and create that as a group. We're going to start that at group 101 and call that all spots. And we can see that our groups are there. Beautiful. Let's check it out. Symmetrical. Cool. All is that original fixture selection. The left and the right still work. Odd and even. 1 of 4, 2 of 4, 3 of 4, and 4 of 4. That looks pretty killer. So now we can move on to the next part, creating our positions. Now we're going to move on to part 2 of 3 of this plugin process. This is the position palette generator. The reason why I'm saying palette is, again, these aren't 100% end-all be-all positions. Depending on how many fixtures you have selected, these positions could either look really good and really clean or a little amateur. That's all dependent on how many fixtures you currently have running within this plugin. However, the linear looks are a great starting point to get your show moving. Part 2 of this plugin does not need any fixtures in the programmer. We can simply start and select our position preset quick store, and it will prompt us with what group. I'm going to close this out real quick. For those of you that did not see the last part, group 131 is our upstage lights. However, they are selected in a symmetrical order. Just like you would when you're creating a symmetrical circle, starts at center to house left, house right to center. Now, before we run this position generator, we need to make sure we have a center point that the effect generator will run on. For right now, a good starting point is your downstage edge with all of the lights angled straight. Get all of your lights properly focused, and then you can run this plugin. After you've focused a center position for your lights for the effect generator to run around, it's important to store this as an executor, so that way you can run it, and as the plugin will process, it will always go home to that position. Alternatively, if you like using default values and default presets, go ahead and store this as a default preset, and the effect generator will again run around that as the home. It will not know intelligently where your home is until you set that value. Let's go ahead, run with group 131. It'll then ask us high or low values. So in your effect editor, you can see what your highs and lows are. This is exactly what it's going to modify. If you've got a small stage, you might want to go a little smaller than 45 degrees off center, because 45 will give you 90 degrees from the farthest it'll go right to the farthest it'll go left. For larger venues, this might look cool, but this is entirely definable by your taste in how this position generator works. I'm just going to do 45 for this demonstration. It'll then ask you what position number you want to start at. Again, these aren't the end-all be-alls. So it's good to find a position pool starting point that isn't going to conflict with your already existing positions. So for right now, I'll just do 1001. Let's go ahead and hit please, and this will run all of our position presets. Now we've run our plugin. Let's check it out. We stored all of our positions at 1001, and you can see we have 114 position presets. They're all labeled with your group that you selected and what type of effect that it will be running. All the effects are pretty much based off of a circle generator, and it's going to go through a linear all where it's mirrored, linear all where it's fanning out from the center, and then we'll go into groups of 2, groups of 3, groups of 4, groups of 6, and then we go into our aerial looks with circles running with a phase value from 0 to 360, and then the same thing from a phase value of 0 through 180. A lot of numbers, but I'll show you exactly what that looks like. So, linear all, you can see that they're all mirrored. And then we start fanning them out. Like I said, this is a good starting point. This plugin works really well to get all of your initial linear fans set up with very little effort. And then let's go into the aerial effects. Now, as mentioned, depending on how many fixtures you've selected, these aerial effects might look cool, they might look a little lame. That's why they're palettes and not definite presets. And the third part of the plugin will come in handy to compile all of your desired looks. Okay? So you can see that these positions look pretty okay for 8 fixtures. Not bad. Might need a little refocusing, but it's a good starting point. Now, if you were part of the last part, we created a group of all the spots. But specifically, we created them in a symmetrical selecting pattern where we go from house left to house right on downstage on the left side, center to house left, the full upstage row, stage or house right to center, and center to house right. And the demonstration that you might have seen on Facebook was this exactly. We've already stored that as group 101. So let's go ahead and run this plugin on group 101. And I will, instead of storing the positions at 1001, I will start the positions at 1201. Just keep things nice and separate for us. All right. Position quick store, group 101, high and low value of 45, position start 1201. And let's watch the magic. And again, you can see that all of my lights have already been focused, and the effect generator will run off of that. Here we go. Now you can already see that the positions that this is creating are much more elaborate. And because we utilized a symmetrical selection, all of them are symmetrical. All of our linear groups look pretty nice. Groups of 6. They look chaotic enough. And then here's our aerial effects. And you can genuinely see with the aerial effects, the actual circle pattern. It's just like hitting your Speedmaster at 0 and then recording it. All of these positions look pretty wild. You might want to edit them and update them any way you like. But again, this just starts an idea. That's all this is meant to do. It starts an idea. You might like it, you might hate it, but we'll go from there. That's actually a really hot look. I like that. Now we'll move onto part 3, where we take all the positions we do like and merge them into a collected set of position presets. Part 3 of this plugin is also the newest part of this plugin that I've created. Now, creating all of these 200, 300 positions are great, but accessing them is going to be very difficult. So the third part compiles them into a much more easily buskable format. Now, again, this was tailored to my original style of lighting design and lighting programming. I, in my live shows, only use 50 position presets. The first 10 are my special presets, and I'll show you real quick The first 10 are my downstage right, downstage center, upstage right, upstage center special looks and presets. Then the next 10 presets are my low values. This is going to take all of those linear looks we've just created and store them in those first 10. Now, you may have noticed I didn't have any crowd or above crowd looks after that. That's going to create way more positions than we know what to do with. So instead of creating all of these positions, we're going to pick the lows we like and then match them into mid and highs. This is also really handy if you like programming your own custom flyouts and whatever cool chases you might like between positions. At least your low, mids, and highs all look the same, except for mid and high. So you can see that I've got L1 to L10 already pre-programmed, M1 to M10, which will match exactly L1 to L10, H1 to H10, which are my highs, to match the mids and the lows, and then the last 10 are my aerial effects. The last part of this plugin will take all of those position presets and store them into a single sequence with cues labeled and marked exactly the same way they are in the preset pool. Like I said, this is the newest part of the plugin, so it's a little less user definable. I will add the user definability into it where you can select where these will start, or you might not even need this third part of the plugin, which is why they are separate. So let's go ahead and dig in. Now, this plugin is going to work. Put this on the right screen. This plugin works on a counter system. Obviously, having to trigger the plugin every time you select the position you like is going to be a little tedious. So instead, I've created a timer, which will do all of the work for you and will always ask you, are you ready to store or not? You can then change the timer value right here. If you like a short timer to 2 seconds, great. Or a long timer to 5 seconds, great. 200 seconds, whatever is your taste. But for now, we'll just do a 3-second timer. When we fire this plugin, it will ask us multiple times whether we want to continue. The first continue is the low preset store. As I mentioned, we're going to just store the first 10 presets, apart from the specials, of course, and build from there. So we're going to run our low store. As soon as we click OK, it's going to start a counter. Every time that counter counts down, it'll ask, all right, are we ready to continue? Or do we need to wait another however many seconds? Here's one of the bugs. It by default says 10 seconds. I got to change that to whatever you value as the timer. But we click cancel. The timer will go on 3 seconds. Continue. Let's go ahead and start storing some presets. So we're going to go into our preset pool and find the presets we want to start storing. Cancel. 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 All right, I've got the position window open now. Let's go ahead and see what positions we like. So we're going to start with L1, which I always like to make my straight fan. There's our straight fan. Are we ready to continue? Okay. We're going to store position 11. And let's find another position we like. Now we're on to position 12, as you can see. We're not ready yet. That one looks cool. We'll pick that one. How about this guy? Sure. I'm not really looking at these right now, but we'll trust that they're cool. Actually, I don't like that one, but I like that one. And as you do this plugin, it's not overriding the position presets. So you can run this plugin over and over again and not destroy any of the work that you've just done. It only merges. So if you wanted to rerun this plugin on a different world or change your fixture selections, you absolutely can, and it's not going to destroy those original presets. All right, now we've stored all 20 of the positions that we like. It'll now ask us if we want to run our low and mid. Sorry, our mid and high. Again, that takes those 10 low values, bumps them up and bumps them up again. course, it's going to be a little bit variable depending on your light fixtures and how much tilt they actually have. So you might want to run this separately or not. But again, it doesn't overwrite what you've got. It just merges. So let's go ahead and click OK. See lights jittering there a little bit. And it's asking us again. But before we go on, I'm just going to close this plugin out just so we can see our progress. So now we've got our L1. Actually assign that as a normal preset. L1, L2, L3, L4, L5, 6, 8. Cool. They all look good, right? Now, if we want to jump from L10 to M10, it's exactly the same position, bumped up. Or high 10. High, mid, and low 10. Easy ways to create the 30 positions. Let's go back into our position effect preset merge. We've already done our low store, so we don't need to do that again. We've done our high mid. We don't need to do that. Let's do our aerial store. The aerial store is exactly the same way as the low store, except instead of the low values, we're just exclusively doing the aerial looks. Whatever aerial looks we like. Cool, that's a look we like. Cool. We're just working through, seeing what we like. We're on position 47, 48, 49, and lastly, position 50. That's all of our positions now made. 50 positions apart from your specials. So 40 positions done and dusted. Okay. Now it's going to ask us if we want to store a sequence. Now, I run my busking file with a position picker, essentially, very similar to the standard color pickers that you guys have seen, but instead of colors, we're doing positions. So this just quickly creates a sequence for us that stores all of the positions for us into a single sequence, stores each queue matching the number of the preset, and labels each queue according to the preset. This is where some of that user definability doesn't exist yet, because it will just automatically store to sequence 200, and we'll let it run. This part was also still in the testing phase last I opened up the programming, so it is running the process very slowly, but it should be able to go through the 50 sequences, 50 queues very quickly. But as you can see, it is pulling up everything as it should. You can see in the programmer. Perfect. The sequence is now finished, and we're going to go ahead and assign it to an executor, if we have an executor we want to assign it to. I've currently got executor 1.7 selected, so I'm just going to put it in executor 1.7. Voila. And if we edit it, we can see that we've got all of our queues already laid out with the position number and the position name accordingly. And if we just click go, you can see the positions cycling through. Mid, high, and then all of our aerials. So that concludes the 3-part plugin process. I hope you guys find some value in it and would like to contribute some ideas on how to make this a little bit more universal. Again, I built this off of my own programming style. I know that there's going to be flaws when it comes to distribution, because everyone's got their own different programming style and programming language. This isn't an end all be all. This is just a idea creator, and at the very least, there's a group generator, which kind of works pretty well. So thank you so much for watching. I really hope and look forward to your feedback, and thank you very much. Bye.